The Discovery Institute is a non-profit public policy think tank based in Seattle, Washington, best known for its advocacy of the pseudoscientific principle of intelligent design. Its Teach the Controversy campaign aims to permit teaching of anti-evolution, intelligent design beliefs in United States public high school science courses alongside accepted scientific theories, positing that a scientific controversy exists over these subjects. In Kitzmiller v.Dover Area School District, the United States District Court for the Middle District of Pennsylvania found the proper application of both the endorsement and lemon tests to the facts of this case makes it abundantly clear that the board's ID policy violates the Establishment Clause. In making this determination, we have addressed the seminal question of whether ID is science. We have concluded that it is not, and moreover that ID cannot uncouple itself from its creationist, and thus religious, antecedents. This federal court, along with the majority of scientific organizations, including the American Association for the Advancement of Science, say that the Institute has manufactured the controversy they want to teach by promoting a false perception that evolution is a theory in crisis, through incorrectly claiming that it is the subject of wide controversy and debate within the scientific community. The court ruled that the Discovery Institute pursues demonstrably religious, cultural, and legal missions, and the Institute's manifesto, the Wedge document, describes a religious goal to reverse the stifling dominance of the materialist worldview, and to replace it with a science consonant with Christian and theistic convictions. Quote, "It was the court's opinion that intelligent design was merely a redressing of creationism and that, as such, it was not a scientific proposition." History. The Institute was founded in 1990 as a non-profit educational foundation and think tank. It was founded as a branch of the Hudson Institute, an Indianapolis-based conservative think tank, and is named after the Royal Navy ship HMS Discovery, in which George Vancouver explored Puget Sound in 1792. In 1966, Bruce Chapman and George Gilder, who were roommates at Harvard and who later co-founded the Institute, with Chapman serving as its first president, participated in the Ripon Society, a group for Republican liberals, and collaborated on Advance, dubbed the unofficial Republican magazine, which criticized the party from within for catering to segregationists, John Birch's, and other extremists. Following their graduation, Chapman and Gilder advanced their progressive Republican campaign in the 1966 polemic book The Party That Lost Its Head. The book critiqued Barry Goldwater's 1964 presidential candidacy and dismissed the GOP's embrace of rising star Ronald Reagan as the party's hope to usurp reality with the fading world of the Class B movie. The Party That Lost Its Head denounced Goldwater's conservative backers for their rampant and paranoid distrust of intellectuals. The book labeled the Goldwater campaign a brute assault on the entire intellectual world, and placed the blame for this development on what they viewed as a wrong political tactic. In recent years, the Republicans as a party have been alienating intellectuals deliberately, as a matter of taste and strategy. Chapman moved to the right in the Reagan administration, where he served as director of the United States Census Bureau. Chapman left the Census Bureau to work in the White House under Reagan advisor Edwin Meese III and was appointed United States ambassador to the United Nations organizations in Vienna. Gilder wrote several books addressing culture, technology, and poverty, including Visible Man, which criticized American culture for its failure to promote the ideals of the traditional nuclear family. His next work, Wealth and Poverty, was cited by President Reagan. Gilder's later books have dealt more with developments in technology, such as microcosm and life after television. Chapman had built a political platform, but lacked funding and a defining issue. In December 1993, Chapman noticed an essay in the Wall Street Journal by Stephen C. Meyer about a dispute when biology lecturer Dean H. Kenyon taught intelligent design creationism in introductory classes. Kenyon had co-authored of Pandas and People, and in 1993 Meyer had contributed to the teacher's notes for the second edition of Pandas. Meyer was an old friend of Gilder, and over dinner about a year later they formed the idea of a think tank opposed to materialism. In the summer of 1995, Chapman and Meyer met a representative of Howard Amundsen, Jr. Meyer, who had previously tutored Amundsen's son in science, recalls being asked, "What could you do if you had some financial backing?" Quote, in 1996, the promise of $750,000 over 3 years from the Amundsens and a smaller grant from the conservative McClellan Foundation was used to fund the Institute Center for the Renewal of Science and Culture, which went on to form the motive force behind the intelligent design movement. In 2002, the name was changed to the Center for Science and Culture. Organization, offices, directors and fellows. Center for Science and Culture. The Center for Science and Culture, formerly known as the Center for the Renewal of Science and Culture, is a subsidiary of the Discovery Institute. It was established in 1996 with the assistance of Philip E. Johnson to advance the wedge strategy. Bruce Chapman calls the CRSC our No. 1 project. The CSC offers fellowships of up to $60,000 a year for support of significant and original research in the natural sciences, the history and philosophy of science, cognitive science and related fields. Since its founding in 1996, the Institute CSC has spent 39% of its $9.3 million on research, according to Meyer, underwriting books or papers, or often just paying universities to release professors from some teaching responsibilities so that they can work on intelligent design-related scholarship. Over those 9 years, $792,585 financed laboratory or field research in biology, paleontology or biophysics, while $93,828 helped graduate students in paleontology, linguistics, history and philosophy. The CSC lobbies aggressively to policymakers for wider acceptance of intelligent design and against the theory of evolution and what it terms scientific materialism. To that end, the CSC works to advance a policy it terms the wedge strategy, of which the Teach the Controversy campaign is a major component. The Teach the Controversy strategy was announced by Meyer in 2002. It seeks to portray evolution as a theory in crisis, and leave the scientific community looking closed-minded, opening the public school science curriculum to creation-based alternatives to evolution such as intelligent design, and thereby undermining scientific materialism. Biologic Institute. In 2005, the Discovery Institute provided the funding to set up the Biologic Institute in Redmond and the Fremont District of Seattle, Washington, headed by Douglas Axe. The Biologic Institute claims to conduct research into intelligent design in response to one of the primary criticisms of intelligent design, that there is no valid research conducted by the scientific community on the topic. According to Axe, the lab's main objective is to show that the design perspective can lead to better science, and will contribute substantially to the scientific case for intelligent design. Biologic's staff consists of at least 3 researchers: Axe, the senior researcher, zoologist Ann Gauger, who like Axe is a signatory to the Discovery Institute's petition expressing skepticism towards Darwinian theory, entitled A Scientific Descent from Darwinism, and Brendan Dixon, a software developer. In keeping with the Discovery Institute's October 2006 statement that intelligent design research is being conducted by the Institute in secret to avoid the scrutiny of the scientific community, both Axe and Discovery Institute spokesperson Rob Crowther portray it as a separate entity, despite being funded by the Discovery Institute. Previously serving as a director of the Biologic Institute was George Webber, who is also a member of the local chapter of the creationist group Reasons to Believe. In an interview he stated that the lab is a wing of the Discovery Institute and that the goal is to challenge the scientific community on naturalism, and what we are doing is necessarily to move idea along, which led to his dismissal from the board of the Institute. PZ Mayers likens the Biologic Institute's design research program to cargo cults, with intelligent design creationists pretend that they're doing science programs. The Discovery Institute, through the Center for Science and Culture, has been involved in the intelligent design movement, transportation in the American and Canadian Northwest, a bioethics program opposed to assisted suicide, euthanasia, embryonic stem cell research, human genetic manipulation, human cloning, and the animal rights movement. Its economics and legal programs advocate tort reform, lower taxation, and reduced economic regulation of individuals and groups as the best economic policy. The Discovery Institute also maintains a foreign policy program currently focused on Russia and East Asia. The Institute's primary thrust in terms of funding and resources dedicated to those political and cultural campaigns centering on intelligent design. These include the Wedge Strategy, Intelligent Design Movement, Teach the Controversy, Intelligent Design, and Teach the Controversy. The Discovery Institute's main thrust has been to promote intelligent design politically to the public, education officials and public policy makers, and to portray evolution as a theory in crisis, and advocating teachers to teach the controversy. Through the CSC, it has employed a number of specific political strategies and tactics in the furtherance of its goals. These range from attempts at the state level to undermine or remove altogether the presence of evolutionary theory from the public school classroom, to having the federal government mandate the teaching of intelligent design, to stacking municipal, county and state school boards with ID proponents. The Discovery Institute has been a significant player in many of these cases, through the CSC providing a range of support from material assistance to federal, state and regional elected representatives in the drafting of bills to supporting and advising individual parents confronting the school boards. Some of the political battles which have involved the Discovery Institute include Kansas evolution hearings, Santorum Amendment, Kitzmiller v. Dover Area School District, the Dover, Pennsylvania Intelligent Design Controversy. In 2004, the Institute opened an office in Washington, D.C., and in 2005 the Discovery Institute hired Creative Response Concepts, the same public relations firm, to promote its intelligent design campaign that promoted the Swift Boat Veterans for Truth campaign, the Republican National Committee, the Christian Coalition, and the Contract with America. Creative Response Concepts scored an early victory for the Institute in getting the New York Times to publish an essay by Roman Catholic Cardinal Christoph Schonborn, Archbishop of Vienna, condemning neo-Darwinism and positivism. The essay, Finding Design in Nature, submitted directly to the New York Times by Creative Response Concepts, was prompted by the Institute's Vice President Mark Rieland. Cascadia Center. Discovery Institute's Cascadia Center for Regional Development focuses on regional transportation. The Cascadia project started in 1992 with Bruce Agnew, a former Chief of Staff for U.S. Representative John Miller, serving as the director. In 2003, Thomas Still was brought in as managing director after leaving his post as executive director of the Amtrak Reform Council. Cascadia attempts to forge alliances between local governments to ease traffic congestion in the Pacific Northwest, utilizing focus groups as well as forming citizen panels and public forums. In conjunction with Microsoft, Cascadia sponsored a session involving elected officials, entrepreneurs and public policy experts, including Washington State Representative Dave Reichert and former CIA Director R. James Woolsey, Jr., to discuss varying proposals for securing U.S. ports and diversifying America's energy portfolio. The Cascadia project is funded in part by a large grant from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Technology and Democracy. The Technology and Democracy Project has been a part of the Discovery Institute since the beginning, founded by senior fellow George Gilder. The project supports technology as a force for economic growth and advocates freeing technological advancement from government regulation. It utilizes national publications, speeches, conferences and public testimony to lobby for pro-technology and pro-free enterprise policies. The Technology and Democracy Project supports pushing deregulation to the forefront of the national debate and maintains a blog, discotech.org, where senior fellows comment on a wide range of issues. The Real Russia Project. The Real Russia Project provides analysis and commentary on the future of democracy in Russia through its internet portal, Russia Blog. In addition to maintaining the weblog, the program organizes conferences and events to address current events and daily public life in Russia. C.S. Lewis and Public Life. The C.S. Lewis and Public Life program is part of the Discovery Institute's Religion, Liberty and Public Life program, which seeks to define and promote the role of religion in society. The program provides analysis and commentary on the writings and thinking of C.S. Lewis and how they can influence public policy. The program publishes a quarterly online journal, The Lewis Legacy, and an online archive, C.S. Lewis Writings in the public domain.